Safer cars for India, a huge deal for all of us here at Car and Bike. We've seen over the years Global NCAP crash testing made in India cars and getting certain results that have startled us, surprised us, shocked us. Last year, though, things got a lot better. We got our first 5-star rated cars, but unfortunately, this time again in 2020, we find the news is not that good. And I have to say that some of these tests have been delayed. The number of tests this year have been delayed because of the COVID crisis. But having said that, it's good to have these tests in. 3 very popular and high-selling models have been tested: the Kia Seltos, the Hyundai Grand i10, and the big one, the Maruti Suzuki S-Presso. That is an entry-level car, sells in huge volume. So I'll go sort of top down on this, and let's talk about these results in detail. The Kia Seltos first. The good news: 3 stars for adult occupant protection and 2 stars for child safety. Now that is a good score, let me tell you. It's not a 5-star score, sure, but 3 stars is a good score. But having said that, let me quickly also tell you that the Seltos that sells in the US, which has been crash tested by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, or NHTSA in America, which is like an American NCAP, has scored 4 stars on all parameters. So yes, that car does better than the one that we have. Having said that, like I said, 3 stars is not bad. Good bits on that: standard front airbags, the dual airbags, and you've got some amount of equipment, of course, on the high-end version. But remember, Global NCAP always tests only the entry version of any car, and so this is the base version of the Seltos that has been tested. The structure has been rated unstable. Now it's borderline. Let me tell you that the score was borderline. It could have been rated stable, but it misses out on a few key structural elements in terms of the impact to the vehicle. As you can see now through the visuals, it is not, therefore, the body shell itself is not rated as stable, but it is borderline. It could have been a little bit better. And what else could improve the score? 3-point seat belts. They're not standard for all 5 passengers. That is pretty much globally the norm now. I've been talking about this for some time. Very few cars have it. A car like the XUV 300 has it, which helped it score 5 stars. Remember, no ISOFIX as standard. The child seat restraint system is also not recommended by the manufacturer for the test. Remember, the manufacturer also has a say in this test, and a child seat or a CRS system, child restraint system, which includes child seats, which includes ISOFIX, not recommended by Kia in India for the Indian market. That goes against it and also helps to reduce its score. No ISOFIX, like I said, to mount those child seats as standard. That could help increase the score as well. It did protect the over 3-year-old child dummy better than the 18-month-old dummy in its overall result. The 18-month-old dummy better than the 3-year-old child dummy, but overall the protection for the children in the back using car seats was actually pretty good. So yes, that is where the Kia Seltos stands. There's been a lot of curiosity about Kia and its safety ratings. A lot of you keep asking me about crash results. Well, now we finally have results for the Seltos. We do not yet have them for the Sonnet, before you can ask me that. Next, let's look at its cousin, the Hyundai Grand i10 Nios. Now, this is the new generation of the Grand i10, the Nios in India as it's called. And we checked to see, but there isn't a Euro NCAP rating on this car. The previous car had received a 4-star rating from Euro NCAP. Standard dual airbags, that's good. The overall equipment, again, on higher variants is very good, but this, remember, once again, is the base variant that has been tested. You got no 3-point seat belts. You've got an unstable structure or body shell. Again, these are points that have gone severely against it, and which is why you've only had a 2-star rating. But again, 2-star is acceptable. It's not a terrible rating, and so we'll take it for adult occupant protection. The 18-month-old dummy in this case again has done a little bit better in overall protection, but the 3-year-old dummy did sustain certain injuries, as you can see now from some of this in the back seat. Once again, a child restraint system, a CRS, not recommended by the manufacturer in this case too, which is distressing, which is unfortunate, because therefore ISOFIX not standard on this car once again. So child protection is really not adequate in both these cars, as we've seen, and there are still chances here, even in terms of the structure, for Hyundai to make some changes. Not huge changes, not changes that require a change of generation, that can actually help improve the score on this particular car. Now remember, I want to quickly point out to you, all these scores the fact that these cars are being tested, the fact that there is a guideline being followed and a protocol being followed, all that is shared with the manufacturer, and they're invited to attend the test if they want to. So these are not things that are going to be new information, therefore, to the manufacturers in this case. They already have all these results. All right, next one is the Maruti Suzuki S-Presso. In many ways, to a lot of people, replacing the Alto. So really high volume. It is like a little mini SUV, very appealing, especially in Tier 2 and Tier 3 India. And what we find here is something which is quite distressing. 0-star rating, once again, from Maruti. Not okay, really, when you think about the current scheme of things, especially because Maruti has gone so hard in that direction of investing in making cars safer. So overall structure, etc., yes, a lot of work has been done, but just putting in a driver airbag only and not making dual airbag standard, well, straight away that leads you to a 0-star score anyway. But that's not where things end. The chest area, if you see for the front passengers in this chart, chest area badly protected, and honestly it could have been a lot worse is what the Global NCAP research says, but it could have also been a lot better had a few things been taken into account, especially dual airbags, for example. The structure rated highly unstable, and that is not good news again for Maruti, though again it is a few changes in the body shell that could help improve that score, but it is pretty poor, that score right now. Very poor performance for the child protection as well, and again, no ISOFIX, child seat restraints not at all present, and no 3-point seat belts in all the positions. Again, that's mandated globally these days. And honestly, if you're offering a car as a 5-seater, then really all 5 occupants should be equally protected, isn't it? I mean, you really should have that. I can understand not having 6 airbags. I can understand not having much more sophisticated equipment, but just 3-point seat belts. I mean, saving money on one seat belt, you could pass that on to the consumer. A lap belt in the middle at the rear is just simply not acceptable, should not be to any of you or me. Going forward, and this is, by the way, applicable to all manufacturers. This is not just about Maruti. The point about the 5 3-point seat belts being standard in a car. All right, so what is the outcome of these results? Well, we hope once again it spurs people to take action in improving their safety standards. We have seen Tata and Mahindra really step up on this front. Like I said, the 5-star rated cars we got last year, the Tata Nexon, the Tata Altroz, and of course the Mahindra XUV300, which is now the highest rated car in terms of its NCAP scoring. Now, what should change? I think it's the approach that should change, and this is for all manufacturers. Yes, India now has better regulations, so we at least have crash safety regulations that are much better than the archaic ones that existed till just a couple of years ago. But having said that, dual airbags should be standard, not just a driver side airbag. It's good to see ABS across all these cars. That is of course standard now. And it is also good to see that overall, in terms of frontal crash safety, things have improved. If you see the overall scores, the body shells on all these cars have done reasonably well. But where we still lack is that a global NCAP protocol currently for India is only taking a frontal test into account. We're not seeing a side impact test. So we don't know yet whether side impact protection is great. We still don't know when we'll start to see government mandated improvement on the level of equipment. Hopefully ESC, hopefully dual airbags, at least for starters, and then things like emergency braking, which is autonomous, being standard like it is becoming in Europe in the next few years' time as well. So please react to all of what you've seen today. 3 popular models, 3 different scores, and hopefully the same outcome at the end of it, which spurs you to react to all of this and spurs the manufacturers to actually bring those changes into these vehicles.